We've been doing a series on disciples in community, how we're called to be disciples of Christ, and actually we're called together, not just individually. So the first couple of messages I did, and it was about how Jesus invited a bunch of guys into relationship. It was friendship, how he took the rabbinical method and he took it to the next level. And so we talked about that. We talked about what he invited them to, and then how they lived together and actually worked together in community. And the second message was about not being alone, that we do this together. That's the whole point of the scriptures.
Yeah.
And we started that cultural analysis, for want of a better word, where in the West, individualistic culture, we're very separated from those biblical concepts of community. We need to be very careful about that. And then Hanky delivered.
Yes, so, and I guess just make me realize what Ron is saying is about that we have individuals in the culture. So it's not really, West, and also I guess in the East as well, that we've been, this individualistic mindset. Then, I shared about, John 3:16, when we receive Christ, we transformed by Christ. But it's actually that actually pushes us to live in a community together, and how that we need to 1 John 3:16 that we need to give our life to our brothers and sisters. So a lot of us basically we stop at the me, myself, and I, John 3:16, but not pushing ourselves into more seeing how that can be manifested in the community.
That's right.
So that's what I learned, and I guess what I also from Ron is that about how the discipleship actually looks like and how to live in a community looks like, and we're still in the journey.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
I said we didn't have a clue, and Hanky very nicely said we're on a long journey, which is a much better way of putting it.
Yeah.
So coming out of Hanky's message, God was really speaking to me about the joy that was set before Jesus, which is in Hebrews, and so I went to that passage and had a look at what that was about. And of course, that was looking forward to all the nations gathered in salvation, and how Jesus had that set before him. And we had a bit of a joke about how we often say, if we were the only ones, then he would die for us, which is true. But how we really get caught on that, and we don't realize Jesus' image was actually of a community, which is why in John 17 he prayed for that oneness and unity, because it wasn't a separate individual thing as much as it was a corporate thing to come together. We're definitely individually saved, but we need to recognize that that's in a community of believers.
That's
like
right.
The bride of Christ.
I think that's what stood out to me. It's something I've been reading about, reflecting on.
Yeah, you've been good on that.
That, salvation of ourselves does happen, but we're saved into a community, which is what you were talking about. And Jesus is doing a much bigger thing, and he's including us and inviting us into that. So it's been a great series. I didn't speak, obviously, but I'm just here for fun. And I thought it was a great progression of messages that really builds into we are disciples in a community, in the community of God's people. And he's using us and bringing us together. And you, in your message, led to this moment of ministry and time of prayer for each other, which was this great moment of dealing with anything that's in our lives that might be holding us back from stepping into.
That's right.
What it means to live in community. So I think it was just a really great month of focusing on that and dealing with whatever might be in us that's holding us back.
And Hanky's right. It is a journey. It's a big challenge to us.
Yeah.
In the way we've been sort of raised in church life, very, very individually, to really then properly engage in that friendship that Jesus called the disciples to.
Yeah.
So can I put a challenge, for the people? So the challenge is because we are on a journey, that we have to be in a journey, and one of the practical way is to find out actually about self, and find out about who is actually the self, and then be part of the self, and really go into that journey, so that we can move from that individual to the how to live in community.
Very good.
Absolutely. Join us all, be part of it. It's the foundation of our church. Yeah.
Can we